So, we all know that Joe Biden came to town yesterday. Like J.B. Pritzker here in Illinois, he focused all of his attention on top-down mandates to punish civilians who do not take vaccines. They both completely ignored the other horrifying epidemic terrorizing our neighbors here in Chicago. I'm here to call on our elected leaders, Governor J.B. Pritzker, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, State's Attorney Kim Foxx, and yes, President Joe Biden, to stop diverting attention and focus on the real enemy here in Chicago, violent crime. It's time for real leadership to put together an integrated strategy that looks at law enforcement, prosecution, and incarceration, and mobilize the resources necessary to protect our communities and achieve justice for those wronged and stop this senseless violence. If the current governor is unwilling or unable to take on this crime problem head on, he does not deserve to lead our state. 796 people have been killed in Chicago over the past year. 796 lives, 56 kids. It's become so normalized. We've almost become numb to the daily drumbeat of statistics. I know it's easy to tune out this drumbeat, but we cannot become immune to this violence. Behind these stats are real people, real lives. Just take a step back and imagine that one of these children taken was yours. On September 3rd, 4-year-old Michael Moultrie was shot and killed while getting a haircut in his father's home in Woodlawn. Michael's favorite movie was Cars, the same movie my 2-year-old son Bo loves. Another tragic murder, another unsolved crime, no justice for the families, and no deterrence for a violent criminal who's free to strike again. On the afternoon of August 15th, the 2 young Broughton sisters were shot in the back of their parents' car on West Grand. They were found laying in the back seat hugging each other. 6-year-old Aubrey survived, but her older sister Serenity did not. To add insult to injury, police found a suspect and charged him, only to have charges withdrawn. There has been no justice for the Broughton family. I think of my little daughters, about the same age, Charlie and Lincoln, and what it would be like to see them shot, hugging each other in the backseat of our car. It's too much to even imagine. To the Broughton family, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This never should have happened. And you deserve justice. The number one job of any government is to keep its people safe. Here in Illinois, our politicians are failing us. Our families deserve better. I've worked in some of the most corrupt, dangerous cities around the world. Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Lagos, Nigeria, Helmand, Afghanistan. I never thought of my home state I love and this great city of Chicago would feel like a corrupt war zone. But here we are. We're no longer looking like the land of Lincoln, but we're slipping back into being the capital of Capone. Chaos, crime, corruption. Illinois is far worse than the national average on property crime, violent crime, and murders. And this is not just a Chicago issue. It's happening in cities all across our state. Per capita, Peoria is the 15th deadliest city in America, on track for its highest homicide rate in 20 years. This is not a day for policy, but there are a few things we need to do right away. First, we need to elect leaders that show respect and appreciation for our law enforcement. The dividers among us want to create this false choice between police or minority communities. That's a false choice. As if you can only choose one. They're wrong. I choose both. 95% of the victims of violent crime this year have been Black and Hispanic. For all the governors and all the mayors' talk of equity, there's been almost None in protecting the Black and Hispanic communities in Chicago. We need to start talking about victims, seek justice for their families. We need to end this cycle of violence. Superintendent of Police David Brown said this past Monday, the more we beat up on police, the more difficult it is to recruit people for this job. They're retiring in droves, our police officers, our sheriffs are in counties around the state. And who can blame them? Our police officers deserve our utmost respect and policies to actually support them. Thank you to all the first responders putting your lives on the line every single day for us, making the sacrifices you do for the people of this state. Second, we need elected leaders to stop putting criminals ahead of victims. Stop using the criminal justice system as an arm of social policy. Murderers, shooters, rapists, carjackers, flash mobs need to be apprehended and prosecuted. Repeat violent offenders need stronger sentencing to keep them from terrorizing our communities. We cannot get justice for families due to the catch and release policies of State's Attorney Kim Foxx. We need people to be charged. We need accountability. Third, we need to address the underlying economic situation in this city. There's no substitute for a good education and a good job to offer a pathway for people to get out of this pipeline of criminality. We need to fix the city and the state's horrendous fiscal situation so we can redirect those resources back into needed neighborhood redevelopment and job creation. We need social policies that produce results, not just sound bites. If you really love your neighbor, then quit signaling. Quit talking a good game. Actually deliver outcomes. For too long, Illinois and the city of Chicago have lacked credible leadership. People willing to listen, roll up their sleeves, and do the work, hold folks accountable, and deliver real results. I got a letter last night that I thought I'd share with you from Emily in Old Town Chicago. I no longer feel safe walking to get groceries or biking along the lakefront. She wrote, I have stopped walking to my office on Michigan Avenue. Employees are terrified to go back to work, not because of COVID, but because they're afraid to walk from the office to the train lines. I barely recognize the city and the state I love so dearly. I'm new to politics. This is actually my first press conference. I entered this race for governor because I love our state, and I'm tired of our terrible politicians driving this state into the ground. I commit right here to being the type of leader that doesn't just stand here in front of a podium and talk a good game, but actually gets to know the community that he wants to serve and delivers real results for his neighbors in need. Together, let's end this epidemic of violence and bring safety and security back to our city and our state. To me, this is not about left versus right. This is about down versus up. Right now, as a state, we're down. The crime in our cities is holding us down, holding our cities down. It's holding our economy down. It's holding our children down. Together, let's fight to lift it back up. Together, let's fight to make Illinois strong.